From the Right Scoop. Never heard of that site before, but okay. Michigan House passes bill that will make misgendering someone a felony. Oh, wow. This isn't even in any way, shape, or form hypothetical. They passed it. Holy shit. Don't go to Michigan. In Detroit? Detroit's in Michigan? Yeah. Oh, that right there will tell you all you need to know. Yeah. Well, oftentimes you might have a lefty state, but the surrounding area might be more conservative and not as bad. But in this case, I think Michigan's a lost cause. Michigan House passes bill that'll make misgendering someone a felony. What about free speech? What happened to free speech? No free speech. Yeah. Other people can control your speech if your speech has to do with them. And speech is, of course, actually thought. So if you control speech, you control thought. This is mind control. Lovely. Gretchen Whitmer. That's a shame. She's not a bad-looking broad, honestly, but, she's got the crazy eyes and looks demented. Unfortunate. So unfortunate that an older broad like this, but who's still pretty good-looking chick, and I'm guessing she was really good-looking when she was young, which, of course, would explain why she's so insulated from actual reality and a total complete libtard, and would support this, but it's such a shame. Such a shame to see that go to waste by supporting such regressive, tyrannical nonsense. I thought you were all for democracy. I thought you were all for the rule of the rule of the majority, the tyranny of the majority. Does this bill represent the majority of people in Michigan? Or just the cities? Which maybe the majority of people live in. I don't know. How many people live in rural Michigan as compared to the cities? And how many people actually support such a bill? Misgendering someone is now a felony? You mean acknowledging objective reality and what somebody is within objective reality is now a fucking felony? Whoa. Well, how many things are not felonies? And this is worse? Words are violence. All right. Anyway, before I get into this story, so yet another, hallmark, yet another indicator of the end of Western civilization, I would like to ask those of you out there that like and appreciate my content to go check out my BitChute channel. bitchute.com/The Realist Philosopher. That's bitchute.com/The Realist Philosopher. You'll find more than 1,600 pieces of content to date. So a lot of good stuff, a lot of juicy content, a lot of yummy red pills. So go check that out. bitchute.com/The Realist Philosopher. So back to this story. So wackadoo, Gretchen Whitmer, and Michigan House have passed the bill. So this is some official shit. So if you go to Michigan and say, "Hey, buddy," and then he says, "It's ma'am," you're going to the Hooskow. You're going to jail. No pass and go. No collecting $200. Yeah. They're going to fine you $2,000 and give you 6 months in the penitentiary, yo. Great. I want to see what the penalties are for this. Did they get into that in this story? Let's find out. So, the Democratic Michigan House has just passed a bill that will make misgendering someone a felony under the guise of intimidation. By the way, anybody think that this is going to all hold up to scrutiny in an appeals court? Because you know, some conservative group, rightly so I might add, is going to sue Michigan over this. And it'll eventually go to an appeals court, and then it'll eventually find its way to the Supreme Court, which will rule on this. But of course, by then, years will have passed, and the frog will have been boiled, and people will have become acclimated to ever more restrictions, more boundaries on their free speech. So they can boil the frog a little more in 3, 5, 10 years' time. Yeah! Let's erode the foundations of Western civilization even further, baby! So this bill, it'll make it a felony to intimidate someone by intentionally using the wrong gender pronoun. How the fuck is it the wrong gender pronoun when you're saying just what they are? Dude is a dude and a dudette is a dudette. I thought words don't have any meaning anyway, right? I thought everything was relative and that my truth is truth. If my truth is truth and my truth is that you were a dude, then how the fuck can you How the fuck can you then challenge my truth? Well, your truth isn't truth. Only my truth is truth because my truth is in line with the currently accepted narrative. Yours isn't. So your truth is only truth if the powers that be say it is. Oh, interesting. Yeah, interesting little special pleading argument there, lefties. So it's a felony to intimidate someone. It's intimidating to use the wrong gender pronoun, which is actually the right pronoun because words describe things. Oh, but you're describing it wrong because I get to describe who and what I am. Really? Can you be black if you're white? No! But it's all just about self-ID, right? That's all reality is. Yeah, according to some legal experts. What legal experts are these? Paid shills? Yeah. Michigan State House of Representatives, oh my God, has passed Bill HB 4474, a piece of legislation, piece of something, that criminalizes causing someone to feel threatened by words. Causes someone to feel threatened by words, but isn't that kind of vague and nebulous? So is it really about gender pronouns? Wait a second. Well, couldn't anybody claim at any time to be threatened by anything, and then you're going to the hooskow? Could I, as a conservative, claim that your words about being a broad, even though you're a dude, intimidate me, and then you go to jail? No. No. We've made the language perfectly nebulous so that we can selectively enforce it. Oh. Like YouTube. Okay, I see. Under the new bill, offenders are guilty of a felony. Wow, thought crime. Who'd have thunk we'd see that in America? Punishable by imprisonment for not more than 5 years, or a fine of not more than 10 grand. Isn't it like 51% of Americans can't afford a few $100 emergency, so the majority of Americans couldn't afford a few $100 fine, let alone 10,000? So you're going to jail for 5 years. Well, it won't be that long. It's up to the, it's up to the court. Oh. So if you're a white dude, you're fucked. If you're black, they might let you off the hook with a warning or probation. But you're a felon now with a record. Just great. It's a felony now to say shit that other people don't like, but only if they're on the left. If you say stuff that somebody on the right doesn't like, that's okay. Which is how this is going to work out. I guarantee it. Because very likely most of the DAs in Michigan are George Soros elected shills. Intimidate, like I don't know what that means. I guess I don't. It means a willful course of conduct involving, you got to tell me what words mean now. Well, when you want to change the definition, I guess you do. Involving repeated or continuing harassment. Is that what that means? Of another individual that would cause a reasonable individual to feel terrorized, frightened, or threatened, and that actually causes the victim to feel terrorized, frightened, or threatened. Well, isn't that their own personal experience? How the fuck do I control that? Are you telling me that I control how other people think and feel? No, but we want to control how everybody thinks and feels. Kind of giving away our hand here, don't you know? Yeah, this is their playbook, actually. Lovely. This is what would make repeated misgendering a felony. Oh, repeated. So it has to be repeated. Well, what's repeated? Twice? Thrice? A quad? What is repeated? Oh, so it's just misgendering. But I thought it was any language that makes people uncomfortable or feel oppressed or intimidated. Now it's misgendering language? The bill specifically addresses sexual orientation and gender identity or expression as protected classes. Why? Wasn't that discrimination against straight people? And people that aren't mentally ill because, gender dysphoria is a mental illness, despite what you people on the left out there want to believe. So, you're going to be sent to jail if you question someone's delusions. You have to play into them. So this is not a law telling you what you can't do. This is a law prescribing what you must do. See, most laws are negative in that they tell you what you can't do. They don't prescribe actions that you have to take, because that would be anti-freedom, anti-liberty. But I thought you people on the left were all about liberty and freedom. Only if it serves our agenda. Otherwise, we want to tyrannize you. Yeah, I know. According to the bill, gender identity or expression means having or being perceived. What do you mean perceived? But I perceive you as a man because you were born a man. How am I misgendering? So if it's my perception, you're saying that I'm allowed to have my perceptions. How can I terrorize somebody if I'm just pointing out what is true? Even if it is in contravention, even if it is contradicting, even if it goes against what they believe about themselves. Aren't you contradicting your own law here in this sentence? So gender identity or expression means having or being perceived as having a gender-related self-identity or expression, whether or not associated with an individual's assigned sex at birth. Well, now this don't make sense. Now you're connecting self-identity with perception on behalf of others and essentially conflating the two and saying that if somebody self-identifies as a woman, you would naturally also perceive them as a woman, which isn't a natural conclusion to come to at all, but you're implying here that that's the objective reality and that somehow perception shapes reality. What you're really saying here, that's a 100% relativistic, solipsistic view of the world. Interesting. No such thing as objective reality. Continue. The phony gender of a so-called transgender will now be a protected status in Michigan. Unbelievable. Yeah, it is unbelievable. It is. It's very interesting. What I find really interesting is that people don't break this stuff down and look at the deeper meaning or the foundational premises that are being implied, that are being pushed upon people. This is solipsism. This is the belief that your own internal subjective experience can shape, can alter objective reality, meaning there is no objective reality. Perception is reality. Wow. That's a dangerous way to see the world, because that's not how reality works. Perception is not an output device, it's an input device, but people like this believe that reality is simply your perception. And you're also tyrannically imposing your perception of the world onto me. So now you're saying that your perception of reality should be my perception of reality, even if my perception of reality is not your reality. So you're contradicting the very premise that you're purporting, which is that perception is reality. That makes no sense. Well, can't expect people to understand that it makes no sense because most people can't think anymore. They just have this ideological framework constructed for them by others, and that is how they interact, view, and perceive the world, not through logic, reason, or critical thinking. The bill passed the Michigan House. Astounding that it did. That with three Republicans voted for this? Obviously not Republicans. Republicans would be for a constitutional republic, which would respect freedom of speech. These are not Republicans. These are rhinos, and they need to be voted out immediately. Fat chance in a state that's so far to the left that this would get passed into law. The bill now goes to the Senate, where Democrats have a slim majority, and of course, rhinos there will vote it through as well. And Gretchen Whitmer, who is a rabid leftist, is not going to veto it, so this will be law. They're boiling that frog. Keep moving that goalpost a little further every fucking day. The bill becomes law, you can be sure it'll be challenged on the basis of violating the First Amendment. Absolutely. But it doesn't matter. Because it'll take years to make it to the Supreme Court. And by that time, a new generation, children, young adults who are very, very impressionable will slowly be pushed to accepting more infringement upon their rights. We got some comments. Do we want to see them? Yeah, let's check them out. From someone named Plato. Unless these freaks walk around with flashing neon signs on their heads, how the fuck are we supposed to know what these dumbasses call themselves? I don't know. I guess the left, I guess the Michigan Senate, the House expect people to, develop their psychic abilities. Plato. I will begin purposely misgendering all of you freaks of nature immediately. Not in Michigan, though. You'll go to jail. The Spanish-speaking are going to fill these prisons up. Yeah. Well, those people, they'll let off the hook. All right? They have prosecutorial discretion, don't you know? I guarantee you these laws will be applied in a discriminatory manner only to white cis people. Like all the anti-Second Amendment laws they passed, this will be struck down by SCOTUS. Doesn't matter. It'll be in effect for years, and it will move the goalposts further and further to the left, as well as move further to the left what people will accept. And of course, this is their way of testing to see just how much people will accept, because we're living in a big, giant petri dish experiment right now. Yes, it will, but in the intervening 5 to 10 years it takes to reach the Supreme Court, how many lives will these tyrants destroy in the meantime? Yeah. Exactly. So does it go both ways when these folks are harassing people, or they fail to call them men or women, male or female, Mr. and Miss? No, of course not. Of course it doesn't go both ways. No, like all laws, unless they provide a financial benefit to them, they do not apply to Democrats, of course. Of course. So if they come across a mentally diseased person who believes he or she is some make-believe gender and comment to them that they need to seek mental health or professional help, you can be charged with a felony. Welcome to the Twilight Zone, says George. M. Jones says no. Welcome to Russia, China, North Korea, Iraq, Afghanistan. Well, only before. I mean, now they have hard and fast rules and an acceptance of objective reality. See, these kind of tools are only used to break down a nation. Once it's been broken down and built back better, then you're going to acknowledge reality. Yeah, it's going to be hard to ignore it, that boot on your fucking neck. Not that they would accept this behavior, but because if you don't do what the state says is prison for you. Yeah. Fascinating. Lenny Schaefer says if a man is from Michigan, he's a Michigander. If a woman is from Michigan, she's a Michigoose. I'm asking for a friend who doesn't want a felony on their record. Anyway, Governor Gretchen is a man, and I don't care if he does not like me saying that. Charge me, I dare you. Says AZ Patriarchist. Is that a dude? You think Gretchen Whitmer is a tranny? It's possible. See, yeah, it is possible. She does kind of have a square jaw. I don't know. And she does have big hair, too. You can't do the triple hair. I need to take another look. Let's see. Let me take a look at Gretchen here. Let me see here. So the way you can tell if it's a tranny or not a tranny, and by the way, this is why Michelle Obama always has gigantic hair, allegedly, is the width of men's shoulders is universal in the sense that you can take the width of 3 of their heads, and that will be the width of their shoulders. So if you could take their head, its width, and put it 1 extra head on their right shoulder, 1 extra head on their left, and it's a perfect fit, that's a dude. Meanwhile, women universally have shoulders that are 2.5 times the width of their own heads, while men have always universally had shoulders that are universally the width of 3 of their heads. So let's see, is Gretchen here? How big is her head? That's a dude. Okay. Gretchen Whitmer's a dude. It looks like that's a dude. Oh. Okay. Allegedly. Anyway, let me know what you think of this genius bill that is going to label misgendering as a crime. Not only a crime, but a felony. Skipping over misdemeanors, baby. Misgendering is so bad, it's now a felony. Wow. Whoa. Yeah, it's on par with rape and murder, don't you know? I'm going to put you in jail for 5 years, motherfucker, if you call me a man when I'm dressed like a woman. It's ma'am. Great. This right here tells you what their agenda is. Deconstruction of objective reality. Control. Mind control. So let me know what you think in the comment section. And please like and subscribe to my BitChute channel if you haven't already. And also let me know what you think. Is Gretchen Whitmer a man? Is Gretchen Whitmer a man? I mean, It's possible. The 3 head width. That looks like a dude. That's some big hair, by the way. Big fucking hair. Is that to hide the fact that her shoulders are so broad that you would know that this was a dude, or it'd be more easy to spot? That it'd be easier to spot if we do the 3 head width analysis? I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments section at bitchute.com/the realist philosopher. That is bitchute.com/the realist philosopher. Go check it out, bitches.